Hi guys, we're still busy with cost estimation, and now let's have a look at the linear equation. Now I know it may sound scary, but let's see if we can make sense of it. So the linear equation is just a formula for a straight line, and this straight line represents our total cost. Now total cost is nothing other than just our fixed costs added to our variable costs. So total cost equals all our fixed costs and all our variable costs. Now I know sometimes we get mixed costs, so they have a fixed and a variable component, so we'll need to split them into their fixed and variable components first before we can add it to get to our total cost. And the reason for that is our fixed costs behave differently from our variable cost. Our fixed cost stays the same regardless of the number of units, whereas our variable costs increase in direct proportion to our number of units. So as units increase, it will cause our variable cost to increase, which then automatically causes our total cost to increase. So if you look at this formula here, it's just total cost equals our fixed cost plus all our variable costs. So let's look at this on our cost behavior graph. So let's just give all the items names. So the total cost is our y-axis. So y is total cost. And that's referred to as the dependent variable. It's dependent on the number of units. So depending on the number of units we manufacture, we'll have a certain amount of total costs. And then the x-axis is the number of units. So that's our activity level. So y is our total cost. So y equals, and we know it will be our fixed cost plus our variable cost. So that will be total cost. So what happens if we don't make any units? So we don't manufacture anything. So in that case, we know our total cost will consist only of fixed costs. There won't be any variable costs since we didn't manufacture any units. So if we take the x all the way to 0 here, we'll see that our total cost will be simply our fixed costs. So y equals a. A just represents the fixed cost. It could be any letter. Many books and notes just refer to it as a. So our total cost would equal our fixed cost if we don't have any units. We don't produce any units. But now as we start producing units, our costs will increase. So we'll add our variable costs to our fixed cost to get to total cost. So what will our total variable cost consist of? So that will be the number of units, x, so we'll move this way now, multiplied by the variable cost per unit, which is referred to as b, so by b. So b just represents variable cost per unit. So now we have the formula y total cost equals a, the fixed cost, plus b, variable cost per unit, times x, which is the number of units. So if we go back to this graph, how does this overall line look? This line that's represented by y equals a plus bx, or x being. So it will always start at the fixed cost point on the y-axis, because whenever we don't manufacture any units, our total cost will be equal to fixed costs. And then as soon as we start adding units or manufacturing units, our cost will start increasing in a straight line or in direct proportion to the number of units. So if you look back to our mixed cost line, that's what this represents. It's a mix between fixed and variable costs, which starts at the fixed cost line and then increases in direct proportion to the number of units as we produce more units. So how do we use this linear equation or this formula? If we, once we've established this line, we can input any x or any independent variable, so that's the number of units, into the formula, and it will give us the Y, the total cost. So we can estimate the total cost if we know what the number of units will be.